Let's talk about Joanna. Joanna was a wealthy woman, and she was accustomed to living in an atmosphere of worldliness, to say the very least. She was married to a man named Kaza, and he was in charge of managing Herod's vast estates. She was well positioned to speak into Herod's life. She was in Herod's palace when she heard word that John the Baptist had been erased from existence by legal means for preaching the gospel. And Joanna was disgusted because by that time she was already well aware of who Jesus was and what he had done not only for her but for other people. All we know about the malady that she had been healed from was that it was either spiritual or physical, but the Bible doesn't make it clear which. Joanna was at the forefront of the persecution of Christians at the beginning. She experienced it in her marriage, in her workplace, and in her daily life. However, as far as we know, she made absolutely no effort to hide her admiration for Jesus. Along with so many other women in the Bible, Joanna provided for Jesus' needs from her own purse. Joanna was among a group of women who traveled with Jesus and his disciples while she supported his ministry. We know for sure that Joanna was present at Jesus' resurrection, which likely implies that she was also present for the crucifixion. She was a wealthy woman who lived in an atmosphere of power on a regular basis, but the only power that she fully submitted to was the loving, redeeming power of Jesus Christ. Joanna knew where her allegiance belonged. Joanna could have spent all of her time in Herod's palace, but after meeting and interacting with Jesus, she instead became a part of the intimate circle of Jesus and his followers. She chose instead to cast her lot with fishermen and poor people rather than the rich and the powerful. And God honored her by making her one of the first witnesses of the resurrection. Joanna is a perfect example of what we are to do in our church, in our personal lives, in honor and in service of Jesus Christ. Joanna donated her money, donated her time, donated her affection. She really was all in with her love for Jesus, and it made an incredible impact on the rest of her life. We don't know what happened between her and her husband, but we do know that she chose to walk away. Her husband stayed in the palace with a king that was persecuting Christians, and she went and joined them. She openly declared her love for God and joined the people who were being hurt and erased by people who didn't understand the love and power of Jesus Christ. I like to think that in situations of modern day persecution, I would make the same decision as Joanna, but truthfully, we don't know until we're in that situation what we're made of, what our faith stands on. But I do know that I want to try. I want to be all in with my relationship with God. I want to be a Joanna. There are things that we do in the natural and things that we do in the spiritual that have to work together so that when the time comes, we can be as brave as Joanna was. I hope that blessed somebody today, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!